Welcome back to Pewdiepie. I'm Zui and I hope you enjoy today's video. But before we get right into it, I'm obligated to remind you to click either the like or dislike button, commenting something down below, and of course, sharing the video after you finished watching it. If you have any suggestions or ideas for a story, my Discord link is in my link tree that is down in the description, as well as my Patreon and Ko-fi for any donations you may want to send my way. Anyways, let's get right into it. You groaned, unable to ignore your pounding headache any further. Tired, you reached for the security office cubby under the camera screen table, trying to get the ibuprofen stored there. Reach for the sky, Toy Story 2 2000, you mumbled. When you felt down like this, it was easier for you to talk in movie quotes. Quickly, you found the bottle. Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Casablanca, 1942, you said happily. Prescription doses? Your favorite! Thanks to the day shift, there was medicine like this everywhere in the security offices. Thank God the manager didn't know. This was gonna be fun. Hopefully. With a shaking hand, you took a pill, grabbed your paper cup of fizzy-fast lemon crime that you had been slowly drinking the past hour, and downed the painkiller. You sighed, leaning back in your chair, waiting for the tablet to do its job. Okay, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Sunset Boulevard, 1950s. You sighed. It was late in the night. Very late. 2 AM, in fact. Ugh. Why was this night going so slowly? You sighed and rested your head on the table. Maybe a nap would make you feel better. It was 2 days ago when you noticed a certain tardiness in yourself. This was bad. The early stages of a cold. God damn it. A cold always sucked for you. It seemed like this common disease picked you not only multiple times a year, but also decided that you specifically would suffer more from it than anyone else. And sadly, with the current work culture of, well, the entire planet, a simple cold wasn't serious enough. So you had to go to work. Especially since you were the night shift guard at the Fazbear Entertainment Megaplex. Or simply, the Pizzaplex. You wouldn't infect any customers. At least that was the reason. So the nap would probably help you relax a bit. Honestly, it wasn't even the cold that was bothering you. It was the tardiness and your uneven heartbeat. That's what filled you with anxiety, and the problem with that was simply that it led to you overthinking it, making you even more anxious, creating a downward spiral of your mood. While you were dozing off in your office, the lights shut down as the building rerouted its energy to the recharging stations. During this blackout, a certain moon-faced daycare attendant was free to roam. The attendant was a unique animatronic. It came with a day and night mode, and a naptime and playtime mode, bundled together, creating a sort of multiple personality disorder within the machine. The sun half was active during the day and whenever the lights were turned on. They were a happy, silly sort, perfect for child care. While the moon half, all by creepy, was a diligent worker, maybe a little too diligent, as it scared children with its need to make them act in accordance to the dedicated nap time. To the point where you got quite upset if said nap time wasn't being fulfilled, even by a single child. You had problems with that too, as every night you worked here he mistook you for one of his daycare kids, thanks to your small stature. Why someone as small, meek and weak as you had been chosen for a security job was a mystery to you. Honestly, by now you believed the night guard's job wasn't to keep the place safe from intruders, but rather to entertain the animatronics until the morning workers came at 6 AM. And as expected, while you were snoring on the office table, the mischievous moon animatronic found you. His head tilted, and he chuckled darkly. This was very acceptable behavior to him. Finally, you had followed his nap time. Still though, what was upsetting to him was the fact you were completely in the wrong place. And that did not fly for him. Gently, quietly, he pulled you off of your office chair. In your sleeping state, you drooled, and while in the robot's arms, you mumbled, Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to seduce me? The graduate 1967. Moon blinked as he looked down at your sleeping form. What? Quietly you hummed and shifted in his arms. He tilted his head. Who is Mrs. Robinson? He asked. But since you were asleep, you were unable to tell him. I hate it when they sleep talk, he growled. It messes with my systems. The robot carried you to his daycare, placing you down on the soft rubber floor before turning around and grabbing a blanket. You better appreciate this, child. I usually don't run around the plex just to collect unruly children. I should ban you from my daycare. I really should. But at least you're asleep. After gently tugging you in, you mumbled, My precious. Lord of the Rings, 2 Towers, 2002. If the robot could blush, he would. I didn't expect a sleepy compliment. Well, my work is quite important. The robot was about to leave, but then you rolled on your side, ruining the beautiful tucked-in bundle that had been you. He growled. Moon had worked so hard on making you look like a happy little sushi roll. Then an idea came to him. Soon the lights would turn on again, and his silly loud half would certainly wake you up. Taking his chances, Moon wandered over to the daycare's fuse box and quickly pulled down the lever that supplied the playground, where you were currently sleeping. Then he returned to you. Overjoyed, one of his children was behaving. Sadly, however, your nap time wasn't long. A tickling in your throat awoke you out of your pleasant dream, and as you began to violently cough, Child, stop coughing! You get those germs everywhere! I mean it! Stop it! Shouted Moon as he approached you. After you could finally catch your breath, you groaned and looked around. You had been tied down, or at least that's how you felt. Your eyes hurt, your throat hurt, and you kinda needed to use the bathroom. Calm down, child. Calm down. You must have had a nightmare. Just go quickly back to sleep, okay? And nobody has to get hurt. Hushed Moon as he looked down right into your terrified face. Luckily, your rational thinking returned before you could wet yourself from fear. Moon, where am I? You asked once the painful coughing fit was over. The daycare. Where else? You let out a sigh. You should go back to sleep. It's your nap time. It's not my nap time. I'm the night guard. Remember? You managed to get one arm loose and settled your hand on your forehead. I'm burning, you muttered. And then smiled. This meant you had a fever. This meant it was more serious than just a simple cold. This meant you could take a few days off. Immediately you jumped up, regretting it instantly as you desperately suppressed the urge to vomit from the vertigo. Night guard, I think you're sick. You should not act so energetic. You're gonna hurt yourself. You gulped down the glob of thick salvia that you had thrown up into your mouth, and then looked at the robot. Yeah, thanks for your concern.
Go back to sleep.
The robot was losing his patience. Looking at the animatronic, a thought came to you. Wait, I didn't fall asleep in the daycare. The robot jolted back.
Yes, you! Lie detected. No, you did not. I'm lying. I'm sorry.
You narrowed your eyes. Moon, how did I get here? The robot fell on his knees and made a loud sobbing noise.
I'm sorry, Night Guard. I thought you were a lost child and that you were breaking your nap time. But then I saw you napping and thought, let's pretend you had been here all along. In other words, I was breaking one of my own rules just for you.
You bit your lower lip. Moon, when was the last time a child was here at 3 in the morning? Or 2? I kinda lost track of time. The robot tilted his head.
Never.
So why would a child be here now? He shrugged.
Maybe there was a change in schedule, or it's a birthday sleepover. But then again, since that never happened, why would there suddenly be one without announcing it?
A sarcastic was the only reply you could think of. You stretched yourself and then sighed. Look, Moon. The machine now gave you its full attention. I'm going to ignore you kidnapping me for the time being. And, well, you're right. Sleep is what I need, but... You looked around yourself. I can't sleep here. Also, I'm not a kid. I work here for God's sake. Think about what would happen if somebody would find me here. Ugh, they'd think I'm a creep. You smiled cheekily. I have an idea. So, why don't you carry me to parts and services? I'll continue my nap time in there. The day shift guard Brian had set up an air mattress there. Brian had put it there after the pizzaplex had burned down a few months ago. Parts and services, the maintenance tunnels, and a good chunk of the atrium had luckily been spared from the flames. So, in a moment of utter brilliance, which was rare for the day guard, Brian put the mattress in parts and services, so that there was some place to sit, lie, and work on, while the building was being restored. Thankfully, your manager and new owner of the rebuilt pizzaplex, Amir, did not know about it. He will certainly make sure the thing was thrown out. Moon scratched his head.
Are you sure?
You furrowed your brows. You already did it.
Yes, but you were asleep then. And you called me precious.
Okay. So? You crossed your arms. It's not like I gained weight the past 10 minutes. Right? Oh god, did you shove something in my mouth?
No, I did not. It's just awkward when you're awake.
You huffed. You want me out because of germs. I'm telling you how I will get out. You are dead set on this. And you allowed yourself this little attitude mostly because of him just grabbing you without your consent. After a minute of deliberation, he picked you up without comment. Your eyes wide in surprise. Honestly, or if you didn't expect him to do it. You blushed. One of his arms was under your legs while the other supported your back. Despite his metal and plastic parts, it felt pretty soft. You looked away from the robot as he began walking. Why were you getting flustered now?
What's wrong, Night Guard?
I guess I thought you'd throw me over your shoulder instead of put me in such an embarrassing pose. His faceplate spun angrily in response.
And why would I do that? That would hurt you, wouldn't it? I guess.
Minutes later, the both of you arrived in the dingy parts and services. The air was stale, and it smelled a bit of spilled motor oil, but that was fine. Gently, Moon set you down on the dusty air mattress. Thanks, you stuttered. You weren't sure if it was your sickness or him acting so caring that was making you so flustered. After a moment of silence, only interrupted by your quietly coughing, Moon said,
I have to go back to the daycare.
Quickly, you grabbed his arm. No.
What? No?
You sniffled.
Yeah, I don't want to be alone. I want hugs and chicken soup.
The robot blinked.
What has gotten into you?
You smiled sickly. The pills just started working. You were feeling incredibly drowsy. The pain that had settled around your body was going away, and your brain felt like it had been smothered by a warm blanket. The robot scratched his facial plate.
I guess I can remain here for a while, but there's no chicken soup on the menu.
He sat down on the mattress next to you.
But only if you nap.
With a smile, you threw yourself on the mattress, putting your hands behind your head. Then the robot leaned over you, gently booping your nose with his. You raised an eyebrow. What was that for?
It's a good night kiss. You better savor this moment.
You rolled your eyes. This had been too cute to be true. Yeah, sure. The two of you went quiet as you closed your eyes. After a while, you asked half asleep, Hey, Moon, wake me up at 5 a.m. I want to at least pretend like I did a full night's work.
Understood. I will wake you up in 71 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mooney. I love you. He giggled.
I love you too, Night Guard.
You rolled on your side and hummed. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night. All about Eve, 1950. Today's video had been suggested by Discord user Amali. Thank you for your suggestion.